Hi, I'm Reki and this is Jeremy. We are from Toyota Land Cruiser Club Australia here in this beautiful New South Wales property. Now, Jeremy, tell us, what are we here today?
We're here to do a little bit more forward driving, Reki.
Oh yes, we're going to tackle difficult terrain with that beautiful Hilux SR5 behind us.
What do you reckon? Let's hop in and have a go?
Let's
do it. Well, Reki, here we are. We're at the top of the steep descent, and we've got a few things that we need to tick off our boxes before we actually head down this track. And what are some of those things that we need to do?
Well, it's a very important thing to do first is stop the car, put it in the safe position and get out of the car. Then we go and check the track and make sure we know what we're doing and which line we're going to choose.
It's always good to know what you're doing. Planning and preparation is the key, and that's exactly what Reki and I have already done. We've hopped out of the vehicle and we've had a good look at where we need to travel. And what we're trying to do here also, Reki, is we're trying to make sure that we're not zigzagging down the hill. And the same applies when we're going up the hill. We want to keep it nice and straight so that we're not getting any of the tail end of the car coming out. So we've got to keep this nice and straight. We've picked our line, we know where we're going. We're going to stick to that, aren't we?
The next thing we need to do is to engage the DAC or Descent Assist Control. That will help the car go downhill a lot smoother.
All right, so basically I'm going to select that now. We'll press on the DAC button, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the gear. So what gear are we going to select here?
Well, make sure you are on the L4.
Yep, low range, yes we are.
Low range, L4, and then at the lowest gear.
So we're going to put over into sports mode here, and we'll go down to S1, which is first gear. Now, if you're in a manual vehicle, you may not have DAC, in which case it's first gear down here all the way, and the most important thing when you're driving a manual is what?
Forget about the clutch.
Correct.
Treat it as it's a non-existing.
Okay.
So don't even think about touching.
Excellent. All right, DAC's on, first gear, low range, off we go. Nice and slow. What kind of pace are we going to be driving at down here, Reki?
Well, it's a walking pace, or if you can go any slower, if it's possible, then do it slower.
What's the safest speed?
The slowest possible.
Slowest possible. You know, even safer is when you're stopped.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're going to take this really slow.
I can see we're around 2 and 3 kilometers per hour. This is perfect.
So 3 k's an hour is perfect. And I'm not even touching the brake at the moment. A bit of sliding around.
That's it.
But you can hear the DAC doing its thing. It's grabbing hold of the wheel that's slipping. It's rotating that so it keeps moving. It's applying braking to the other parts of the wheels that have got grip. And this is assisting our downhill.
That's fantastic.
Tell you what, that's made it feel very, very easy.
Yeah, that feels very easy, I agree.
Very comfortable. All right, bit of a mud patch through here. Nothing really to concern ourselves about. And we'll be on our way. Reki, we've come to the water crossing.
Yes.
Firstly, can I say that if you can find a way around driving through water, then it's probably a good idea to do so.
Definitely.
You really want to only drive through water if you absolutely have to, but considering that we're going to drive through this body of water here, what are some of the steps that we need to do?
Well, the very first thing that we have to do is stop, which is we are now, and we're going to open the bonnet, and we're going to let the engine cool down for at least about half an hour.
It's a good idea.
And while waiting, then I'm going to go and check the depth of this water crossing.
Fantastic. You know, Reki is right. He needs to go out there and he actually needs to plot the course that we're going to take. So, Reki, you'll end up going from one side of the car where the wheel is.
That's correct.
You're going to walk out there and you're going to take a couple of sticks with you just in case there's some big holes. And if there are some big holes, you're going to put the stick into the big hole.
Yes.
And you're going to turn around, you're going to walk back on the other side where the other tyre is.
Correct.
Same thing again, getting your sticks in hand if you've still got on your left, and popping them in the hole, and just so we know where to avoid.
Correct.
All right, sounds good. So what we really want to make sure is that we're in the right gear. So second gear for the auto, and if you're in the manual, then you want to be selecting second gear before you start off. So you don't want to be changing gears in the water, but in an auto it's all right. So we're going to be in second gear. We need enough torque to push through the water. If we go into drive, we end up going through too many gears. and we're actually creating speed. We don't want to necessarily create too much speed. We need to create enough power and torque so we can push the water ahead of us and create what's called a bow wave.
Yes, we're going to create a really nice bow wave, so then we want to avoid the water coming onto the bonnet, and that means we're going too fast, so we're going to maintain that speed.
So there is a sweet spot when it comes to speed. You don't want to be going too fast that you overtake the bow wave, and you don't want to be going too slow that you don't create a bow wave.
Yes, I agree.
All right.
So just a bit faster than walking pace, I guess?
I reckon it's a fast walking pace. Even a jog, depending how fast your walking is. All right, anyway.
That's right. All right, let's do this.
Okay, let's get
Windows down.
Windows down in this case because just in case we need to get out and something goes wrong.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm going to select second gear in sports mode. And I'm going to make sure that we're in low range, which we are. Everything's good. You happy with that?
Happy.
Ready?
Remember, approach, water, stop a little bit, and then.
All right. So we're just gonna dip the feet in, are we?
That's it.
All right. We'll just dip the feet in first, and as the car gets into the water, then we're going to start to accelerate. We're going to create this bow wave. I can see it.
Perfect.
I can see it.
Yes. Now,
And then when we
stop
get
here.
to the other side, we stop. Why do we stop?
Well, we gotta let the water out so we don't drag and create a muddy path in front of us.
Absolutely. If we've got 10 cars behind us and all this area in front of us gets really, really muddy, it might actually become impossible to get out.
Correct.
And then we may end up spending hours up here doing recovery. So it's a good idea. Let the water drain out of your chassis rails and everything else. And then once it's done that, then we can continue.
I think we're good to go now.
All right,
Yeah,
good to
we're
go.
good to go.
Let's go.
So Jeremy, we are approaching a rocky terrain here. So as usual, the first step that we have to do when we get to the bottom, we will get out of the car and we will check the terrain.
Absolutely. And no point in doing any of this if we don't know exactly how we're going to tackle
Yeah,
it. So
correct.
first and foremost, a bit of planning and preparation. So yes, we're going to stop down the bottom of the hill here. And we're going to work out exactly the route that we're going to take to go up. Now remember, we've got to go up straight up and down as possible.
Yes.
In this case we're going up, but we're going straight up as possible. We don't want to do any zigzagging, which can compromise the vehicle. So straight up and down, that's the way to go.
And we make sure rocks are our friends because they will give us a lot of traction.
That's right.
That will help
so
us.
in this
Yeah.
case, we're actually trying to get our tyres onto the rock, and of course we've lowered our tyre pressures down, so we've got a bit of extra traction there as well. We're making sure that we're in low range four-wheel drive.
Yes. And what gear will you choose in this case?
Well, in this case, because we're going up the hill, we can just put it into drive.
Okay.
Right? There won't be any issue there whatsoever.
Now that we're ready to go up, I can see there's rocky and kind of steppy. Now, what are you going to do with controlling your throttle?
Well, I'm going to keep the accelerator nice and smooth.
Yes.
I don't want to do any kangaroo hopping, so
Yes.
I don't want any jumping around.
You
So
don't
once
want
again,
that,
that tip that we mentioned before, just wedging your foot against the side panel there in the footwell and using that to give you stability, and then just rolling your foot over to the accelerator. And we want to keep momentum here. We want to just keep driving.
Yes.
We're listening for the engine reading. We're making sure that we've got a consistent rev all the way up. Should we get going?
Things. Let's do.
All right, let's do it.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
this.
All right. So we're going nice and slow. It's walking pace again.
Yes.
And we're getting terrific traction on those rocks.
That's fantastic. 3 kilometers per hour, 4 kilometers. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Well, that's impressive. Too easy.
All right, well, looks like we've got ourselves a bit of mud up ahead.
Mud. I love mud.
This should be a bit of fun.
Yes.
What do we do when we come across mud?
Well, it's very important, Jeremy. We always need to stop and then we need to observe, we need to walk the track and check. Especially with the mud because you can't see what's there, how deep the mud hole here. So you need to check for sudden drop or a deep hole, so you make sure you avoid that.
Absolutely, and look, you know, it's quite easy to get stuck in the mud. There's no doubt about that. Hence the old saying. But here we are. We've got plenty of puddles and things. Recce and I, we've got out. We've had a good look at it. There are a couple of deep holes up here, but I don't think it should be too much of an issue for the Hilux SR5 today. So I think we'll just we'll get started. We'll see. I'm sure she can handle it just fine. So the key thing is here. Now, look, I've just got the car in drive. You could select second gear in the Hilux if you wanted to, but the aim of this is not to go too fast. We just got to keep things nice and steady, that constant momentum going. We might get a bit of wheel slip. We might not. See how we go.
Yeah.
It is normal. Yeah. There we go. There's those big holes that I was talking about.
That's it.
Does it easily.
It's a bit bumpy, but that's nice.
There we go.
Now, one thing that we have to do once we tackle the mud, just get out of the car and check, make sure there's not much mud stuck on your mud guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, anything underneath the vehicle as well, because once that mud becomes really hard, and it's really, really hard to get off. So it's always a good idea if you can, if you've got an opportunity to hose it off or something like that, which is also a very good idea. The other thing we haven't spoken about is tyres. Now look, going through mud and having all-terrain or mud-terrain tyres makes a hell of a difference. So if you're planning on doing something adventurous like we have over these last few segments, then by all means I would suggest get out there and get some all-terrain or mud-terrain tyres. But look, you don't have to, it's horses for courses. But the great thing about all-terrain and mud-terrain tyres is once you get going again and start driving, they actually flick out all the mud out of the tread. So that's the whole reason why you end up getting stuck in the mud to begin with, because the wheels tread gets all filled up with the mud. So they are great things to have as the all-terrain or mud-terrain tyres. So there you have it. We've gone through quite a few different adventures here in the Hilux, and we've loved every minute of it, haven't we?
Yes, we do. And we hope that you would learn so much out of this.
Until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later.